When Emily Carter, the fiery liberal debater known for her razor-sharp arguments, stepped onto the stage, she was ready to dominate. She had silenced opponents before, and today would be no different. What she didn't realize was that Barron Trump was about to give her a lesson she'd never forget. The prestigious debate forum had drawn the brightest young minds from universities across the country. Throughout the day, heated discussions had electrified the auditorium. But no one could have predicted the showdown about to unfold. Emily took her place at the podium, adjusting the microphone with a confident smirk. Her striking purple hair and piercing gaze made it clear. She wasn't here to play nice. "Fellow students," she began, her voice crisp and commanding. "We talk about progress, yet we allow outdated generations to control our future. It's time to face the truth. Those over 50 have had their chance, and they've failed us." A murmur rippled through the crowd. Some students shifted uncomfortably. Others nodded in agreement. Sensing their attention, Emily pressed on. They cling to their old-fashioned values: faith, patriotism, family structures. But let's be honest, these are relics of the past, shackles holding us back from real change. Scattered applause erupted, encouraging her to continue. In the third row, Barron Trump sat motionless, his expression unreadable. These so-called leaders who can barely use a smartphone still decide our policies. Their America is dead, and it's time we bury it. Now the applause thundered through the room. Emily's confidence soared. "What we need," she declared, "is an age limit on political participation. If you won't live to see the consequences of your decisions, you shouldn't have a say in our future." The crowd roared in approval. The professor moderating the debate, Dr. Harrison, cleared his throat. "Does anyone wish to present a counter-argument?" Silence. Emily folded her arms, satisfaction gleaming in her eyes. She had won. Then, a deep, steady voice cut through the air. "I would." All heads turned toward Barron Trump. The room stilled. A smirk curled at Emily's lips. "Well, well, Daddy's boy wants to speak." Laughter rippled through the audience, but Barron remained unfazed. He rose from his seat, his posture composed as he strode toward the podium. His towering frame and polished suit exuded quiet authority. Emily stepped aside with an exaggerated gesture. "Go ahead, defend your dinosaur buddies." Barron adjusted the microphone, his movements deliberate. Then he spoke. "Thank you, Emily, for your passionate speech," he began, his voice calm yet firm. "But passion without wisdom is like a ship without a rudder. Powerful, but dangerous." Emily's smirk faltered slightly. "You speak of progress," Barron continued, "but true progress isn't built by tearing down those who came before us. It's built on their shoulders." The audience leaned in, drawn by his composed demeanor. "When you say people over 50 shouldn't have a voice, do you realize you're talking about the very individuals who created the technology you use to spread your ideas? The ones who built the infrastructure that allows us to gather here today?" Emily opened her mouth to retort, but Barron raised a hand. "Please, I listened to you. Grant me the same courtesy." The room, once rowdy, now hung onto his every word. "You mock their values," Barron continued, "but let's examine those values. Hard work, personal responsibility, faith, family, patriotism, these aren't relics. They're the foundation of everything we have." Some of Emily's supporters exchanged hesitant glances. "These outdated people," he continued, "were once young idealists too. They fought for civil rights, survived economic crises, pioneered medicine, and launched us into the digital age. Yet, you would silence them." Emily bristled. "They don't understand modern problems." Barron's expression didn't change. The generation that ended the Cold War, fought for equality, navigated recessions, and built Silicon Valley doesn't understand complex problems? A few chuckles rippled through the crowd. Emily's confidence flickered. "But let's talk about your proposed age limit," Barron continued, his voice unwavering. "You advocate for inclusivity, Yet your solution is to exclude an entire demographic? Tell me, Emily, when did discrimination become progressive? Silence. A heavy, undeniable truth settled over the room. Emily's face turned red. You just want to protect the privileged elite, she snapped. Your father, the billionaires. You defend the system that keeps you on top. Barron remained composed. Privilege? I've been volunteering at veterans shelter. How many hours have you spent helping others, Emily? She hesitated, caught off guard. The difference between us, Barron said, is that I don't just talk about change. I act on it. Emily's supporters were visibly shrinking into their seats. She clenched her fists. You think your suit and manners can hide your family's corruption? Barron met her gaze evenly. You claim to champion diversity, yet you mock people's faith, their values, their experiences. You claim to fight for tolerance, yet you refuse to tolerate those who disagree with you. Emily's breath hitched. The room was completely still. Let me ask you something, Barron continued, his tone softer now. Does your vision of progress include room for those who think differently than you? Or is diversity only acceptable when it fits your narrative? For the first time since she took the stage, Emily had no words. Barron stepped back from the podium. True progress isn't about silencing voices. It's about learning from them. He returned to his seat. The debate was over. Emily stood frozen, the weight of his words sinking in. Then, slowly, she turned and walked back to her seat, her fire extinguished by something deeper. Understanding. Later that evening, as students trickled out of the auditorium, Emily spotted Barron gathering his things. Hesitantly, she approached him. Barron? She said, voice softer than before. He turned, offering a warm smile. Yes? I just wanted to say, I was wrong. Barron's expression was kind. You weren't wrong to have passion, Emily. You were just missing perspective. Emily exhaled shakily. How do you stay so composed? How do you not hate me after what I said? Barron chuckled. Because I've had good teachers. People who taught me that true strength isn't about winning arguments. It's about building understanding. For a moment, Emily hesitated. Then, without thinking, she hugged him. Barron was surprised, but he returned the embrace with quiet understanding. As they stepped back, both knew this was more than a debate. It was a turning point, a moment where wisdom triumphed over pride and true progress took root. And in that moment, both of them left the auditorium changed.